The McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act requires schools to make sure homeless students have access to a public education, but the funding it provides is limited. In Nebraska last year, nearly 5,000 students were identified as eligible for services under McKinney-Vento. As Nebraska Public Media's Jolie Peal reports for the Midwest Newsroom, some rural districts are collaborating with their communities to help outside of the classroom.
Lydia Batain cares for her 3 nephews along with her own children in Lexington, Nebraska. She struggles to afford basic needs like food because she lost her job and is undergoing treatment for breast cancer. Lexington Public Schools, where the children are enrolled, realized Batain's nephews qualified for McKinney-Vento services because they lived with an adult who wasn't their legal guardian. They received new clothes and grocery store vouchers for food.
Y me ayudó bastante y me sentí mejor.
Batain says the assistance helped her feel better because she was stressed and emotionally affected during chemotherapy. The law requires schools to enroll students who are homeless and provide transportation if needed, among other support. Students who qualify for McKinney-Vento services may share a home with another family, couch surf at a friend's house, or live in a hotel. The number of Nebraska students identified as McKinney-Vento eligible has grown over the past 4 years from about 2,500 to more than 4,800. Part of the reason for the growth is schools reopening after the COVID-19 shutdown. Another reason is the state's focus on training school officials to better recognize housing instability, according to Ann Carmody, the McKinney-Vento coordinator for Nebraska.
And you could just see the counselors. They're like, their minds are turning of like, I know this kid and this kid and this kid and this family.
Carmody ensures each school district has a liaison dedicated to identifying homeless students and connecting them with resources like school supplies and clothes. But schools aren't allowed to pay for housing or cover bills, which can prolong spells of homelessness and impact a child's education. That's where partnerships come in. On the Winnebago Reservation in northeast Nebraska, Markel Harlan is the Winnebago Public Schools liaison.
It takes a village, in a sense, because the school can only help with what's within the school. My job is to try to help bridge that connection with, okay, outside of school, how can we help?
The school district works with Child and Family Services, the police department, the tribal court, and a local shelter to help students get to and stay in school. They also offer resources like mental health services and housing. The school gives students access to showers and washing machines. In Lexington, Nebraska, the nonprofit Micah's House stepped in to help Batain pay a utility bill. Kayli Sauer co-founded Micah's House in 2017 with her husband, who saw the challenges students faced while in a meeting at the school.
As they were in this meeting, a student came into the school wet and late for school, and they said this is like one of the things that we see because they're unaccompanied and they're homeless and they need resources.
Micah's House started with providing food to families, then furniture, then grew into helping families find and keep housing. Sauer says they want to ensure families without stable housing don't feel alone.
And the best way to show somebody that you see them is meeting their basic needs.
The school district connects Micah's House with families who need extra help. Kristi O'Meara is the social worker and McKinney-Vento liaison for Lexington Public Schools. She says she's seen how not knowing where they will be sleeping or not having access to health care can impact a student's performance in school.
If you are being evicted from your home and you have nowhere to go, you can imagine the emotional stress that puts on a child.
O'Meara says she can rely on Micah's House to tackle outside factors that prevent good outcomes for the students. She hopes other rural school districts can learn from Lexington and forge community partnerships to help homeless kids. For the Midwest Newsroom, I'm Jolie Peal.
The Midwest Newsroom is a collaboration between NPR and public radio stations in Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska.